Sorry, I was on mute. I was setting up the YouTube link. So we'll be starting from the beginning only. I'll to discuss something from the first chapter itself. Then we'll move on to the other one. अरहंत सिद्ध सूर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी राग ते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाय स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So these are the special classes for the great festival of 10 virtues, and the festival is going to start from tomorrow. So we are starting today so that tomorrow whole day you can just contemplate on this. The first one is Uttam Shama, supreme forgiveness. Okay. So we'll be understanding this one today. So tomorrow whole day you can practice. Then again tomorrow evening we'll be doing the next one, Uttam Madhav. So similarly, one by one, every day we will be doing it. Basically, these are not very difficult. You can just read yourself and understand. But still, I thought that this is our first year. So let's do it jointly. Otherwise, individually, you may not do it properly or you may not do it at all. So giving exam and getting cleared is one thing, and understanding this concept and applying it in our day-to-day life and winning over passions and manifesting the purities is our ultimate target, and that is going to benefit us in our day-to-day life. That when a situation demands that you need to do anger, you need to do pride, you need to do deceitfulness, and you need to do greed. But even then, you don't do those things. On what basis you don't do those things? When you take shelter in yourself, okay, then automatically the passionlessness manifests. And when that manifests, the corresponding passions doesn't rise only. And that is how the path of liberation begins. The path of liberation goes ahead, and that is how the path of liberation gets completed. So what we are going to learn now, that is, we are not going to be beneficial in the immediate term, but it is going to benefit us in the long run, because the soul is going to remain eternal. It's not going to finish it off. It's not going to die, you know. So in spite of having so many qualities in ourselves, if we don't have the understanding how to experience that, then what is the use? So right belief is the key to that treasure, the treasure that we all have, and how we can unfold that, how we can unlock that, how we can manifest that. That is the main purpose of our understanding this thing. The Great Festival of 10 Virtues is also one of I would say, one of the most important concept in our studies. These, along with Bara Bhavna and Krambat Paryay, and these are some of the topics, very, very, very nice topics. And it's not only going to increase your knowledge, but at the same time, this will help you in practicing discriminative knowledge. Okay. So expertise is in that how fast you can practice this discriminative knowledge and connect it to yourself. Otherwise, only knowledge, without this inclination to experience yourself, it does not help in the path of liberation. So whatever we study, whatever we understand, is only with the sole purpose that we experience ourselves and enjoy that eternal bliss. Okay. So with that purpose in mind, we are today starting this. Our festival starts today itself. And in fact, for a student like you and people who are connected with Parmagam honors, every day is a festival for us, because every day we learn new things. Okay. And that makes the whole attempt, that makes the whole efforts a festival itself. But nevertheless, we are celebrating it for 10 days. So this is the great festival of 10 virtues. Virtues means quality. Virtues means attributes. Okay. So these attributes, each of the soul is having as a potential. But the question is, how do we manifest that in our modification? Okay. So we'll be understanding it from the point of view of practicing descriptive knowledge. Now, coming to this textbook, textbook is written by Dr. Hukamchandji Bharil. It is one of the finest, I would say, and one of favorites of mine. It is written in such a vivid manner that anybody can understand it, and he has given all the logics for each of his things that has been expressed here in this book. So, in order to become a scholar, these are some of the books which helps us in a big way. But our purpose is not to become a scholar. Our purpose is to practice descriptive knowledge, and this is also going to help in that way. So, first of all, festivals. What is a festival? Okay. And what is the difference between a normal festival and a Jaina festival? Okay. So festivals are events which is primarily for enjoyment. Okay. That's how we celebrate festivals. But in Jain philosophy, festival means not enjoying the sensory objects. It is about abstinence. It is about renunciation, and it is about contentness. It is about achieving contentness in yourself. So there are two types of festivals. One is an eternal festival, and one is a periodical festival. So those related with some particular persons are the eternal festivals. and those related with some specific events are sorry. So there are two types of festival, eternal and periodical. We may also call them as permanent and temporary. We are on page number 2 now. So the temporary festivals or the periodical festivals are of again two kinds. Those related with some particular person and those related with some specific events. So the festivals like Deepavali, Mahavir Jayanti, Ram Navami, Janmashtami are the festivals that are related to a particular person or personages. Because Deepavali and Mahavir Jayanti are respectively related to Mahavir's salvation, Lord Mahavir's salvation and birth. And Ram Navami and Janmashtami are related to Rama's and Krishna's birth respectively. So these festivals are related to some particular persons. The other one is which is related to with specific events like Raksha Bandhan, Akshay Tritiya, Holi. Okay, all these are related to some specific events. Then there are some festivals like Independence Day and Republic Day, which are related to historical events. The eternal festival or the permanent festivals are neither related to any personage nor to any specific event. They are in fact related to spiritual thoughts. Okay. The great festival of 10 virtues, thus Lakshan Mahaparva, great festival, okay, is such an eternal festival which is related to soul's natural traits. Trait means qualities of supreme forbearance. So forbearance is forgiveness. So we will be using the word forgiveness more because Shama is forgiveness, in fact. So forbearance also gives similar meaning only, but a better word would be forgiveness. So you can write down in your textbook that instead of forbearance, you should use forgiveness. So, which emerges in it as a consequence of the termination of impure modes like anger, etc. So why it is etc.? So the four passions, anger, pride, deceitfulness, and greed. Okay. So when it's said that anger, etc., etc., that means it is talking about all the impure modifications like anger, pride, then deceitfulness and greed, and some other kind of passions also. Then so there is a limitation of the festivals which are related to some person or which are related to specific events. But our festival of 10 virtues, it does not belong to that kind of events or persons. Okay. And so only those festivals which can be universal and eternal. Universe means it can be celebrated by all, and eternal means there is no beginning and there is no and eternal, which are equally related to all the living beings with their emotions and not related to any particular personage or event. So this festival is basically related to our emotions, the kind of manifestations that we manifest. Okay, it relates to that. So this is one such great festival which is equally related with the emotions and sentiments of all living beings. Due to this reason, it is eternal, belongs to all, and will be existing forever. So this festival exists forever. So what would be the reason that this festival is eternal? So as we have seen that those people, just like there are some events, or there are some festivals which are eternal, means it is not for a particular person or event, but it are permanent in nature. Permanent in nature means that they are being celebrated from eternal. It's not something that is new. And then you may say that this is the fifth era, and moving on to the sixth era, there will not be any religion here. So that is true, but it is not only of Bharat sector that we are talking about. We are talking about the whole universe. Okay, so these are festivals. It may not be celebrated here in the sixth era, but in Mahavidya sector there is always a fourth era, which is very conducive to manifesting religion. So in that area, in that particular place, it is always the fourth era going on. There is always a Tirthankar, and these festivals are there since eternal, and it's going to be there since time infinite. So here is a question ki, if it is an eternal festival, then why there is a story for its beginning? Okay, so there is a very interesting story that how this festival begins when again the fourth era rises here. Okay, so according to this Jaina cosmology, the religion only exists in the fourth and fifth era. So when the sixth era will come, there will be no existence of Jain religion. And when again the next period, or now this is Utsarpini going on, and then Hunda, no. So now this is Ausarpini which is going on, and then it will be Utsarpini. So in the next Utsarpini, when again there will be a favorable time for the religion to start. Okay, there will be a dawn of religion. At that time, there will be rains for 7 days each of 7 types. Okay, so this will freshen up the land, and then the religion will start. So it is all written in our textbook. You can see on page number 5, 6. So this is an universal festival, and this is an eternal festival, and this is eternal and universal for all. Ashtanika is again one such parva, which is again a permanent festival, eternal festival. And as this Ashtanika comes thrice in a year, similarly, this Das Lakshan Dharma is also coming thrice a year. But most of us, we don't know that it comes thrice a year. We only know this one, which is quite popular, and everywhere it is celebrated. And there is always a scholar coming from Jaipur or some other place, and the whole community celebrate it together. There is a discourse in the morning and the evening. Somewhere it is also in the afternoon, and in the morning there is a puja and a vidhan. So these are general routine with across all the community, samaj. Okay. So the 3 periods are from Bhadrapad Shukla 5th to 14th, Magh Shukla from 5th to 14th, and from Chaitra Shukla 5th to 14th. So 5th to 14th is not the English date, it is as per the Jainism calendar. So the main one is the Bhadrapad Shukla that we are just going to observe from tomorrow. And in only this Bhadrapad Shukla, there is a scholar coming everywhere. What could be the other reason why this festival is during this period, So basically this period is a period of that 4 months where the monks do not move from one place to another place, because it's a rainy season, and during rainy season there are so many small one-sensed living beings are there in water and everywhere, and so the monks don't travel in those days. They are permanently stationed at one place for 4 months, and during that 4 months he preaches those communities which are there, and he also celebrates this Das Lakshana Dharma. When these 4 months are over, then he starts moving from one particular community then to another community. Community means Jains only, but there are different what we call sampradaya, sangh, So it is said about the monk that they don't stay permanently at a particular place for more than 2 days. Why? Because when they come in contact with the householders, they might develop a feeling of attachment with them. So apart from this Chaturmas or the 4 months, they are always traveling. So during these 4 months, because of these rains, the growth of jeeves during this season gets highly increased, and we are basically a non-violent society. So the monks of Jainas stop moving from one village to another village. And not only the monks, but even the householders also don't move very rarely. Okay. So the whole atmosphere is conducive to, just like a festival. And this is also a period when, even those people who never do do anything in any kind of religion, they also feel during this time that we should do something, we should go to the temple, we should hear the scriptures, we should give donations, So everybody had this feeling of inclination towards producing or reproducing the religion. So this is a very conducive, so this makes it a very conducive atmosphere all across. So this festival of passionlessness is really the festival of continence. Continence means Samyam and observance of religious rites. So this is Parva. This is the festival of Samyam and Sadhana. Parva means auspicious time, and it's an occasion for purity or chastity. So, in fact, the manifestation of the passionless state through realization of the nature of the self, is the real festival. What are the 10-fold adorations? What are the 10 types of these religions? The names are given here in the page number 7. Yeah, you can see. So one thing you can change, supreme forbearance will be supreme forgiveness. And then number 6, supreme self-restraint. Supreme self-restraint is okay, but supreme austerity is a supreme penance. Okay. And then the last one, supreme non-attachment, will be supreme non-possession. So these are some of the things that you can change. So this will remain or it will get removed after we finish the class?
So it will remain in my copy.
Okay, that's good. So this basically religions is only of one type, that is to manifest the passionlessness state. But there are 10 types of characteristics to that religion. So
can you repeat the other two again? Austerity will become?
Austerity will become penance.
Penance, okay.
Because austerity is self-restraint only. Okay. So Uttam Tap will be penance, and Uttam Ankinchanya will be non-possession, supreme non-possession. So this book was written around 50 years ago, and this was translated also maybe during that time only. So this is translated by Pandit Hemchandra ji from Devlali. Is there in Devlali, but now he's a bit old and he's not keeping good health also. But those who must have gone to Devlali, he is always available there regularly, and he's a good scholar also. And he was in fact an engineer in Bharat Heavy Engineering Limited. And because of his interest in this religion, he left that job and concentrated only on this religion. And he never married also, and just to pursue this religion. And his English is very good, and you can see from the flow of this language. But still it was done in 1981, so maybe 1980s. So it is now almost 43 years. So you can just imagine, after that, words also new words keep on coming, and the flow of the language also changes every 25 years. Some of the words that we use now were previously not being used. So this keeps the language keeps on moving as per we move ahead in our time. So, but this is written very nicely by Pandit Hemchandra ji, and you can read for yourself. See the page number 7, I'm reading one paragraph, last paragraph. In fact, these are not the 10 religions, but these are the 10 characteristics of religion. Okay. So religion is only of one type. You have to manifest passionlessness state. Okay. So supreme word is written everywhere. So you did not write supreme, but you have written it's okay. So supreme means uttam. Okay. The best. And why it is also called supreme, that we also will see when we discuss individual dharma. In whichsoever soul, the state of religion, serenity is shanti, in the form of self-belief, okay, self-knowledge. So belief is shraddha, knowledge is gyan, and self-absorbedness, that is conduct. Okay. So right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct is manifested, and in that very soul, these 10 distinct characteristics of religion do get evolved of their own. So these are the religion's characteristics, symptoms which are evolved as a consequence of self-adoration. Then we now move on to the first one, supreme forbearance, uttam shama, or forgiveness. Okay, so forgiveness is the nature of the self. It is written in the first line itself, forbearance, that is forgiveness. So forgiveness would be a good word to use again and again here in this text. Forgiveness is the nature of the self by taking shelter of the forgiving nature of the self. So our soul is itself of forgiving nature. The state of serenity, that is peace, which is devoid of anger, emerges in the self. This also is called forgiveness. Okay. So one thing, forgiveness is the nature of the self, and by taking shelter in that nature, the state of serenity, which is devoid of anger, is manifested, or it is emerges in the self, and it is called forgiveness. So there are two meanings, one from the real point of view, which is just now explained, and the other is the conventional point of view, where we actually ask for forgiveness, or we forgive someone for the crime that he has done. Okay, so it is both way. We can seek forgiveness also, and we can ourselves forgive others also. So both ways it benefits us. And so when you are forgiving others, that means you are not manifesting anger in yourself. Okay. And when you are seeking forgiveness, then you are renouncing your pride. Okay. So this way, either you are not manifesting anger, or you are not manifesting pride. So in both the cases, you are being benefited. So supreme forgiveness is such a religion. It is going to benefit you and also to other people also. Whoever practices this principle of forgiveness is do always enjoy happiness. So basically, it is about manifesting the qualities that you already have, and by taking shelter in yourself, these qualities are manifested in the modification, and you really uh, enjoy those enjoys those modifications. Yeah. So we want to talk about forgiveness. Then why the acharyas have to talk about anger? Because we are quite familiar with anger. That is one thing. And so the acharyas has to explain it us through anger only. The other reason is that anger means the absence of anger means forgiveness. So we have to understand the anger first, because forgiveness is not something that we have manifested. So we are not aware of it. So if we understand the causes of anger, the types, different types of anger that we manifest, and the main reason behind it, and by following that path, if we are able to not manifest anger, then we can manifest forgiveness. So it is the opposite of anger. Okay. So to practice forgiveness, we have to first understand the anger. Mm. Now come to the page number 13. So what happens when there is an anger that rises in yourself, that we are going to study on page number 12, last paragraph? There are 4 points that, but when the forgiving nature of the self does not manifest into forgiveness, but manifests into contradistinction, vikritya, vibhav, alien state, then that contrary alien modification is called anger. Okay. So if forgiveness is not manifested, then obviously anger will be manifested. Anger is a contradiction. So this is the first point. Anger is a contradistinction of the self. Contradistinction means vikritya, vibhav. Okay, that is called contradiction. Anger is a contradistinction of the self, and it emerges in the absence of forgiveness. Although from continuity point of view, it is existing from beginningless time. That means it is existing from eternal. Nevertheless, it is produced every moment as a new and newer modification. So every moment there is a new modification of anger. Hence, the fact is that the absence of forgiveness is anger, but it is actually said that the absence of anger is forgiveness. So when the forgiveness is not manifested, the anger gets manifested. Okay. And when the anger gets manifested, the forgiveness is not there. So Actually, it is absence of forgiveness is anger, but the acharyas talk in the languages which the students understand, and so the student have experienced anger, so the acharyas also compulsorily have to explain anger first to understand the forgiveness. So it is not only the negative aspect that a religion has, it also has a positive aspect also. So the second point, page number 13, third paragraph, as nobody, so the second point I already told you that we are well acquainted with the anger, pride, deceit, and greed and all. So and we are not aware of the forgiveness, it is unknown to us. So so that's why it is we go from recognized to unrecognized, from experienced to inexperienced. So this is, we are understanding the forgiveness through anger. People do not dispute, third point, page number 13, fourth paragraph. People do not dispute when it is said that forgiveness is not to indulge in anger. But if they are told that anger is not to forgive, then it sounds something unusual and nothing is understood. Therefore, the definition of anger is always explained in the affirmative. Affirmative is positive form. That is, resentment is called wrath. When wrath emerges, the eyes become red, body starts shivering, lips starts pulsating, etc. So when there is an extreme anger, these things also happen. You must have experienced. The fourth point is so that also has been covered. So now we move on to the analysis of anger. So if we understand the anger very nicely, then only we can practice forgiveness. Then we are able to practice forgiveness by not manifesting the anger. So although the soul is a solid mass means ghan-pind, partless embodiment of knowledge and bliss by nature, it is an absolutely perfect entity. Okay. But some contradictions, that is vikritya, impure emotions, weakness, are assimilated with it from beginningless time, from eternal time, since when it is existing. The scholars have given many names to these weaknesses, such as contradictions, passions, emotions, and so on. The next point, or the second part of that point, is among those evils or the impure feelings, in these weaknesses, in those passions, the greatest evil, the greatest weakness, and the greatest passion is anger. Anger is soul's such a vitiated state, spoiled state, such a weakness that due to it, wisdom is destroyed. So the main thing is that when you manifest anger in yourself, the wisdom gets destroyed and you are not able to take a decision what is good for you and what is not good for you. Okay. So this is best explained by Pandit Todarmalji in Moksha Marg Prakashak Ji Granth, page number 52-53 in the Hindi version. You can check it out. So here it is the excerpt. This whole paragraph is taken from there. Anger is soul such a vitiated state, such a weakness that due to it, wisdom is destroyed and the power of recognizing good or bad disappears. The angry man starts uttering nonsense words, starts abusing and beating the object of his anger, and wants to harm it in any way, even at the cost of his own life. Even if any of his well-wisher or an esteemed person tries to quieten him, he starts abusing him and also gets ready even to kill him. If after all this, the other person could not be harmed, then he himself becomes extremely unhappy, starts cutting the parts of his own body and starts breaking his own head and even commits suicide by taking poison. Then the third one is about anger, is that angry men always find faults with others. He is not able to realize that he is at fault himself. So this is another bad thing about anger. The fourth one is so whatever that you see across, even if you read to everyday's newspaper, there are some news always that some persons were killed because of these and because of these. So there is a root cause of anger everywhere to be seen in all kinds of destructions that you see across. The famous story of Dipayan Muni, everyone knows that the whole Dwarka was highlighted with fire because of Dipayan Muni's anger only. And everyone died except Krishna and Balbhadra. All the people of that whole town died. These all came in the holy sermon of Tirthankar Neminath, and things also happened accordingly. Then the fifth one is anger is a psychic emotion which disturbs peace. It not only disturbs the mental peace of the angry person, but also makes the whole atmosphere or the environment vitiated and perturbed. Towards whomsoever anger is shown, page number 16, we are reading in the second last paragraph. Towards whomsoever anger is shown, he at once feels insulted and also get badly irritated due to the sorrow thus involved. So these are very rare people who think or exercise their mind to find out the appropriateness otherwise about the expression of anger. Then the sixth point, a very dangerous form of anger is revenge. Okay, revenge or enmity. This is very bad. So what is the difference between an anger and revenge that we need to understand? There are four differences. That anger does not plan destruction. It happens very spontaneously, voluntarily. Okay. But revenge, revenge is more dangerous. It destroys its enemies by proper planning. The duration of anger is very less time. Okay, आपको गुस्सा आया और चले गया. But for revenge and enmity, it lasts from generation to generation. Even the other day we were reading that Duryodhan's somebody from his dynasty only, he saw these Pandavas were concentrating on the self in the Shatrunjay mountain. And because of that anger that he had taken the kingdom of our forefathers, so that person inflicted great pain on these Panch Pandavas. So it lasts generation to generation, okay? Anger is very aggressive in expression, okay? But revenge or the enmity is very silent, but very harmful, okay? Anger happens spontaneously. Revenge is acquired intentionally. So these are the basic difference between anger and revenge. So when the anger takes the form of revenge, it goes very deep and it's very harmful to us. The last point, page number 17, second last paragraph. Anger is, there are many other forms of anger like grumbling, irritation, annoyance, okay? So these are all types of angers. Now the main and important and the last question and final question, how do we conquer this anger? Okay, so coming to page number 18, see, due to ignorance, so long as other substance will continue to appear to us as useful or harmful, okay? Due to ignorance, due to agyanta, we feel that this substance is going to be useful to us and this substance is going to be harmful to us, okay? So when you consider some substance to be harmful or some substance to be useful, the one that is useful, you develop an attachment to it. And the one that is harmful to you, you develop an aversion to it. So this constant manifestation of attachment and aversions, rag and dvesh, okay? And because of this, this anger keeps on rising. But when through engrossed study of reality, okay, the feeling of like and dislike in other substance will disappear. Now, the important question is, how do that disappear and why it is like that? In other substance will disappear, then anger, etc. will naturally not take birth or it will not rise. So the main reason is substance is never useful or harmful. It depends on your own destiny, okay, that how you take it, okay. Now example, if we consider a rain, so for rain, for a farmer, the rain is very beneficial and useful, but for a potter who is making pot making, the rainy season is not good for him because he is not able to do his business. So the same object, the rain, is beneficial to someone and it is harmful to someone. So the object in itself is neither beneficial and nor harmful. When you understand this, then the anger will not rise, okay? And up to that time, when you feel that something is good for me and something is not good for me, the anger will keep on rising. There is one more story of, I'll finish with that story. Rest you can read. I have formed a base of this supreme forgiveness, and now you can build up on that by reading through the textbook. So you should read one chapter every day, and that's how you will develop the feeling of forgiveness the whole day, and it will be a good practice for you. So the last story that I want to say is about Yashodhar Muniraj. The story of Shrenik Raja and the Chelna Rani. Okay. So Yashodhar Muniraj was a monk, and he was meditating, and Shrenik was not a believer of Jainism. So, but he was very much attracted by Chelna Rani. So he wanted to marry her. So, but Chelna was very staunch follower of Jainism. So he lied to Chelna Rani that I am a Jain king, and there is a big Chaityalaya in my kingdom. You can do puja every day, these, that. So Chelna was very much interested in religion, so he married him. And when he came here in the kingdom, he realized that Shrenik ji has lied to him. He is not a Jain. He is a Bodhmati, but he has to accept the destiny. And so they were living together. And one day, this Shrenik Shrenik Maharaja, the king Shrenik, saw a monk meditating. So because of his anger to Jainism, he threw a dead snake on that monk. And then he went for his own work, and then he related that event to Chelna Rani, that today I threw a dead snake on a monk. So Chelna Rani understood it, everything, that a Jain monk never removes anything. He's always concentrating on the self. So he said, let you take me to that place, because Jain monks never remove anything. So Shrenik thought that let's see if he's a truly a Jain monk. Let's see. So they both went, and they saw that Muniraj was into deep introspection, a deep meditation of the self, and the snake was lying there on his neck, and there were so many innumerable small ants there, and it were inflicting pain on the monk. But the monk was not disturbed, and he was concentrating on the self itself. By seeing that scenario, the heart of Shrenik Maharaj melt, and he became a Jaini. And when the monk came out of its meditation, he said, he gave Ashirvad to Shrenik Raja and say that let the religion of Jainism manifest in you. And Shrenik was totally perplexed, and he immediately accepted Jainism there. And then, of course, he became also a monk. And just because of this event, he bounded karmas that he had to take birth in the hellish state. Okay, hellish being Narak mein. But later on, because of his change of mind, and he manifested samyak darshan, or the right belief in himself, and because of that, from the 7th Narak that he was supposed to go, it came down to the 1st Narak. But still he has to take birth in Narak, and at present is there in the hellish state. And but he is a Saik Samyak Drashti, so he is still enjoying eternal bliss in spite of those pains and other miseries that he is suffering there. So it is always good to forgive, and it is always give to forgive others also. So you should never hesitate in asking for forgiveness, and same time you should also forgive other people who are doing wrong to you. Okay, so in this way, the the religion of forgiveness will manifest in you. And similarly, we'll be reading about one dharma every day. And so at the end of the 10 days, you will have this feeling of the fulfillment, the feeling of fulfillness in yourself, because you have so many attributes, and those are all being manifested in yourself. So from tomorrow onward, there will be no introduction. So we'll be finishing in 45 minutes itself. But today I'm a bit late. I'm sorry for that. But we started also, I think, 5 minutes late. So it's almost, we have completed on time. But this is just an introduction that I've given. Actually, you should read the text, not only once, but thrice. There are some very good clarifications, and there are some practical ways also. And understanding that concept will help you to practice forgiveness in your day-to-day life. And once you practice that, you will be the one who will be enjoying this eternal bliss, and you will be happy. Anything you want to ask? You can still ask. And if someone is getting late, then he or me, she may go. But those who want to ask question, I can still take for another 5 minutes. Okay, so I think there is no questions. So
Sir, 1 minute. I
yeah.
have this Hindi version where this says Gali sun man khed na ano,
right.
गुण को अगुण कहे बखानो, कही है बखानो वस्तु छीने. I didn't understand the whole thing.
So there is an explanation given over there in Hindi also and English also. Okay, so gali suni. So when somebody abuses, then let alone manifesting anger, but there is not a feeling of ill feeling towards anybody, you know. Gali suni, मन में खेद नहीं लाना है. Okay. Then even if you have some qualities and the other person says that you don't have that quality, on the contrary, he says that this fellow is having so many bad qualities in you, even you are not having them, still that person says, and still you do not become angry on him. So that is about the second part. Then there is this third part. What is the third?
धरते निकारे तन विदोर बैर जो न.
So then he beats him up and inflicts pain in some other way. Okay. Vastu chine. So he snatches something that you already possess. Bandh maar bahuvidhi kare. Okay, he beats you, he kills you. Bahuvidhi kare means by practicing many new techniques, you know, that is bahuvidhi kare. Then this is not enough, so he then removes it. Removes you from your own home. Okay. Gharte nikare tan vidare. Okay. Still you don't develop a feeling of anger on him. That is a true practice of forgiveness, which is generally this 10 religion is generally for the monks only, but a householder can also practice this religion, 10 religions through according to his own level. But basically these are for monks only, primarily for monks.
Okay, sir. So
this is that you can read once everything meaning is given. So it is showing you the height of, you know, tolerance of a monk, that in spite of having so much of pain and inflictions, he still is not manifesting anger in himself. That is what our saints are like.
Yeah, sir. But then, sir, when you experience these things,
Hmm.
somewhere you may not react in anger,
Hmm.
but you may cry for yourself in sympathy or whatever.
So
Uh,
if you understand these principles, okay,
huh.
that there is nobody in this world who can inflict pain or do something wrong to you, okay? Whatever is happening is your own karmas, Uday. Then you don't feel bad for anybody. Now, somebody has inflicted pain on you, okay? Now, this is one case. But tomorrow, if you get a disease, then whom you are going to blame? But still you suffer, no? So then you don't blame anybody. And similarly, the other persons are just only an instrumental cause, okay? It is your own karma that you have bound in your earlier time that has come into fruition. So there is no point in manifesting anger on that fellow. He is only an instrumental cause, okay? It is your own karma. So I would ask you one question. उनको सहना अच्छा है कि उनको जीतना अच्छा है? One is that you just bear it out, tolerate it, okay? That is one part. And the other part is you win over it. Which one would be good?
Winning is better.
Winning is good. So how do you win it? You can win only by taking shelter in yourself, by manifesting the pure modification yourself. This anger does not rise, okay? And that is how you can win over anger. And it is not only about anger, but it is about all types of passions, okay? So you are full of qualities. We are all full of qualities, you know, innumerable quantities, not one, two, but innumerable, uncountable number of qualities. We are all possessing, each of us. We have the potential, okay? But now we need to look inside, to look at ourselves, to manifest those potential into reality and actually experience that joy and happiness, and that is how we are going to be happy in this life. And it is the eternal bliss. It is not the sensory bliss that we usually, you know, have experienced, but this is something called eternal bliss. This is not dependent in any of the senses or the body, but it is directly coming from the soul.
But I have a question.
Yeah,
So, s- you said that it is our own karma which is coming to fruition, our past karma.
right,
But, so even the opposite person who is having the bad behavior, that
right.
person also should control his reactions and his
So
actions.
now suppose
Otherwise,
if
the
he is,
karmic cycle will keep on continuing. Every
see,
time
no,
his
no,
bad
no,
karma
it is not like that. So from your part, if you are forgiving him, your thing is done. Now from his perspective, if I see, okay, the other person's perspective, then if he is destined to go to a hellish state or a subhuman state, then how can he manifest good sentiments? Okay. So somebody who is heading towards a hellish state will always have these feelings of anger every now and then reproduced, you know. So he's binding all those karmas and then he will go there. So what the other person will do depends on his or on his destiny. It is
so
not
how
affecting, it is not affecting us in any way. Okay.
how to
So
deal with such people who are like hellish persons, and they are just keeping on going on doing all this anger and
ah,
deceit, and how to deal with such people, because we also don't want to go
so
to
you
hell.
practice discriminative knowledge. You see him as God, you know. He is a God at if you see his nature, he's a God. Okay. स्वभाव से वो भगवान है. But even he is not realizing that, but he is a pure soul from the from internally. Okay, so if you see him as a pure soul, and the body, mind, and the voice activities that he is going through is not his. Okay, he is not a doer of this. So if you are able to analyze in this way, then you will feel that there is no point in getting angry about him. He's just doing his job. In fact, he is not a doer of that job. He is also an observer, just like me. I am also an observer, and this is also not affecting me. Okay, I am also in my happy state because my cause of happiness lies within me. It is not outside. So something may happen according to what I wish, and something may happen not according to my wish. What difference does it make to me? In both the cases, I am only a knower and observer. I am not a doer. So once you are not a doer, then it is not your responsibility that what is manifesting and what is not manifesting. So if you understand all these concepts, then you will develop a feeling in yourself that let all the accumulated karmas come together at once. And still I am very confident that they cannot do anything wrong to me. They cannot stop my happiness. Okay.
Yes, 90% of the times we realize this and we don't react, and we
Yeah,
understand
that is very good. That is very good. And that is how
5% times it becomes so.
So we learn from our mistakes. Even if we are not able to keep to ourselves, then there is a learning for us. Okay. And we learn from our mistakes only. And it is not that the moment you understand, you do it everything correctly, but because of charitra monia karma. Okay. These things happen for some time. Like if you are if a fan is moving, and if you are stopping it through switch, you disconnect the connection with the help of the switch, but the fan still keeps on moving for some time. Okay, and then it stops. So similarly, this thing will happen even if you understand, even if you know, even if you are practicing discriminating knowledge. Sometimes this kind of anger, pride, deceitfulness, or greed may arise. Okay, so
सर हम उत्तम क्षमा किससे मांगते हैं?
हम अपने से भी हम दूसरों से भी मांगते हैं और हम स्वयं से भी मांगते हैं. सो निश्चय से स्वयं से मांगते हैं और व्यवहार से दूसरों से मांगते हैं. सो we are also responsible. We are also seeking forgiveness from our soul, in the sense that from time immortal, he was there. He was there always. In every modification he was there, but we never looked at him. So it is like that, somebody, a wife does not look at his husband. How does it feel? So similarly, this paryay is the wife and the soul is the husband. That relationship is
So
there.
when we are trying to, when we ask for forgiveness from others, are we our pride comes on, that is correct, but वो तो हम किसी से नहीं अपने आप से भी मांग के, if we realize a mistake and we ask for forgiveness, that realization and asking for forgiveness. But अगर हम बाहर के लोगों को forgiveness पूछते हैं, are we trying to please them? क्या
No. So that means that you don't have a pride in yourself. Okay. So you are giving away your pride. By asking for forgiveness, you are giving away your pride.
And if
by
we
forgiving
if
others,
they don't forgive us, then do we continue to ask for forgiveness, or we
no,
leave
no,
it?
no, no, no. You need to say once by heart and then leave it to him, because sometimes in the heat of the anger, he may not forgive you at that point of time. But sooner or later, that feeling reciprocates, and he also realizes that thing, and then sometimes he expresses it, or sometimes the whole life goes off and nobody says anything to others and the hatred still remains, and
हाँ,
that is
ऐसा होता है
how.
ना, अगर हमने एक बार क्षमा मांगा, उन्होंने नहीं दिया, फिर हमने अपने आप को माफ करके हम आगे बढ़ गए, एंड दे विल फील के अरे तुमको तो मतलब यू डोंट केयर कि तुमने एक बार मांगा, मैंने नहीं बोला तो तुमने तो छोड़ ही दिया.
So what I will so that is, see, what he feels, what he understands, that is his case. But when you ask for forgiveness, your case is over, your file is over. Okay, see, and it is not that asking for forgiveness and repeating the same mistakes. When you ask for forgiveness, you mean that you are not going to repeat that mistake again. So then it makes sense. So we will be touching on this Shama again in the last class. Okay, that will be on the next Monday. Again, we will be discussing on this Samavani. There is a chapter, last chapter, Samavani. Very interesting chapter that is showing the practical application of forgiveness. But I personally feel that this is a very good tool, forgiveness, and immediately get relaxed. The same moment, the moment you seek forgiveness, you are relaxed. There is no tension on you, and the moment you forgive others, there is no ill feeling for others. So actually, it is something that you are doing for your own. Other person is not concerned. He is not in the picture. As far as we are concerned, as far as our development is concerned, as far as our manifestations are concerned, it is our thoughts, it is the thoughts and it is our intent that matters. So we improve our we improve our intent, we manifest the right intent, we understand the right things, then everything gets good. So just because we are just coming back from that process, the habits that we have earlier, it will take some time to settle down.
I say asking for forgiveness is still easier, but forgiving is very difficult.
But it is not difficult, as you have seen, that it is not something that you are going to do outside. It is going to come from inside.
No, हम दिल से किसी को forgive कर लेते कि चलो, लेकिन वही person बार-बार अपने आसपास के लोग होते, दूर के लोग होते तो ठीक है.
नहीं होता है, ऐसा होता है. I do realize what you are.
एक दिन के अंदर होती है वापस, तो मतलब हम forgive कर देते, रोज forgive कर देते, फिर चौथे दिन हमको लगता है कि अभी हमने मन में बोल दिया, लेकिन उनको मुंह पे नहीं बोलना है कि हमने आपको forgive कर दिया, क्योंकि उसका कुछ मतलब ही नहीं है.
So that is very painful. That is very painful, and the best is you drop that idea. You drop that thought. Okay, just like this pen I'm dropping. Similarly, you drop that idea. Don't expect anything from him. You have done your part, and you now be happy. Why we should reproduce toxic emotion because of others? How we are concerned with what he feels like, what he understands, what he doesn't understand. It is because of our attachment to him that we are suffering, So you have to remove that attachment, okay?
नहीं, अटैचमेंट से मैं आपको बोलूं कि अगर अटैचमेंट ही नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है, मतलब रोज अगर मेरे घर पे किसी ने कुछ गलत किया तो मैंने अभी वो चीज से मेरा अटैचमेंट ही नहीं है, मैंने छोड़ दिया उस चीज को, लेकिन उसके मन में तो है ना, तो उसने तो रोज मुझे सॉरी बोला, मैंने तो ठीक है, मेरे मन में तो है कि वो इम्पोर्टेंट है ही नहीं, मतलब एक चीज रोज गलत, मतलब वो रोज कपड़े यहाँ से यहाँ ना ये नहीं करते, तो ठीक है अभी छोड़ दो, ठीक है. उन्होंने अगर मुझे रोज वो चीज का सॉरी बोला तो मुझे क्या करना है, रोज ठीक है बोलना है, और क्योंकि मेरे तो मन में वो नहीं, आई हैव नो अटैचमेंट, तो हाउ एम आई इवन समबडी टू से ये और ठीक है या नहीं ठीक है, मुझे वो चीज से अभी मतलब मेरे मन से तो वो चीज ही निकल गई.
No, so he is telling you sorry every day, right? That other person is telling you sorry. So you said okay. You said okay. Don't worry. It is all part and parcel of business. I don't mind it. You
Hmm.
also don't mind it. You also enjoy, and I'm also enjoying. That's all.
क्योंकि वो चीज पे अटैचमेंट तो मैंने कब से निकाल ही दी है कि अभी वो चीज नहीं हो रही है तो नहीं हो
वो
रही
क्या होता है, अपने को लगता है कि अपन ने निकाल दिया, बट एज आई सेड कि चारित्र मोह टेक्स टाइम, so it again comes back again and again, and you have to repeat the same process. The process is same, even if you are doing it for the first time or if you are doing it for the 100th time, the process is same. Okay,
थैंक यू सर
good. You have questions, that is good. That means you are understanding it properly and you are really keen on putting it in practice in your day-to-day life, and that is very, very good.
But there are
Okay.
some, we realize that some souls are just there to harass us and to take advantage of us.
See,
The
as
more,
I said, there is nobody on this earth who can harass you. Okay. If you are getting harassed, it is because of your wrong understanding of the Tattva Gyan. If you have a proper knowledge of Tattva Gyan, then nobody harasses anybody. Nobody can harass anybody. That is the nature of things. So if your thoughts are according to nature of things, then you will not consider anybody as your enemy or anybody something who is inflicting pain on you or who is doing something wrong on you, something, trying to take any revenge,
some
nothing
people
like that.
have influential power, no? Like suppose if your certain relative like mother or father or somebody,
See, if
they have some
you,
influence power
क्वेश्चन क्या है
on.
कि हाँ अगर हम अपने आप को उनसे डिटैच कर लेते हैं कि नहीं वो चीज ठीक है डिटैच कर लो तो संसार में तो वही क्वेश्चन होता है ना आपने अपनी माँ से अपने आप को कैसे डिटैच कर दिया माँ को कितना बुरा लगता है जब भी हमने मतलब हम वो चीज को ना बुरा फील करते हैं ना बुरा कि डिटैच कर दिया चलो अभी नहीं हो रहा है तो नहीं हो रहा है
detach means in the sense that you have accepted it, right?
हाँ
So it is good now. You have to accept. You have to accept things as they are.
गलतियों से उनके उनके गलत जो आपने बोला किसी कोई अपने हमको परेशान करने के लिए हम ऐसे कर रहे हैं कुछ लेकिन हमको उससे फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा क्योंकि हमने वो वी आर इन अवर सेल्फ बट वो संसार के लोगों को कैसा लगता है कि अरे एज अ मदर दे फील कि अरे मेरी बेटी ने मुझे कुछ भी कहा उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है
What she's saying is also correct, sir. See, other people they see that okay, इसकी माँ ही ऐसा कर रही है, इसके father ही ऐसा बोल रहे हैं, तो हम भी करते हैं, हम उससे भी बुरा करते हैं. So you know,
it is not that. It is not that. See, अभी दूसरा लोग क्या सोचते हैं कुछ नहीं, but I am just making it very short because कि हम लोग को we are concerned with our own sentiments, okay, our own manifestation that are going on, right? And if you are in a happy space, then let them think, no, whatever they feel like, let them inflict abuse on you, whatever they want to do, let them do, okay? But you are at mental peace, and then you have to express forgiveness to them
if so many
once
people
for
are
all.
if so many people are abusing and so many people are doing bad things or bad behavior, seeing your father or mother, then how we can be in happy space, sir?
So
If
you
so
have
many
to
people
see, no,
start
that
doing-
you only have bound the karmas, no? You bring the karmas in between, okay? So when you bring the karmas on in between, then the focus from that person shifts, right, to the karma. This you agree or not? Okay. So if it is your karma, then those persons are just a puppet. They are an instrumental cause. They are not the actual doer, right? If you are able to accept this much only, then that person does not, like, you don't develop a ill feeling for that person because he's
So
not
if
a
you-
doer. Now you
so
understand.
दयाल
He's not a doer. He's also a soul. You are also a soul. You are a god yourself. He's also a god.
So if we bear all these things and then our karma will become good. I mean, like we will have.
Yeah, your good time is going to come. It will take some time because the amount of karmas that you have bound earlier, that are all coming into fruition one by one. So this process will go on for some time, but it's going to end. Okay. So now if you are not doing anything wrong with them, you are not developing a wrong feeling towards them, then you are not manifesting new karmas. So the old ones will come and go, and then there will be happiness all around.
Okay, sir.
So this is a challenge, and we may say that we understand religion, but when it comes to
Yeah,
practical,
very difficult. Very difficult.
we are not able to dissociate ourselves from that particular situation. And for that, it is very important for us to maintain our mental balance, you know. So it is best that you have to drop that thought. You drop that thought. The more you will be indulging in those thoughts, the more painful it will be for you. Okay. So this is a statement that you don't indulge yourself in that thought. But there is an other part to that. Same answer I'm giving you another part, which is a positive part, that you get yourself involved in Jinwani. You got yourself, you're involved in some auspicious activities. Then those things will automatically go away. Now you are here studying this class. Okay, you are studying this in class. Okay, so now this time there is serial going on in TV. So you are not looking at that serial now, no? Why? Because you got yourself involved in some other thing. So similarly, you don't look at TV and leave it. You engage yourself in something very good, then those TV time and all gossips and everything will go. It will automatically go.
This thing I observed, sir, that even we are doing involved with these classes and all, the kashai becomes very less.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And it is not the kashai becoming less. The kashai, you are going to win over kashai. That is the main part I explained today, that winning, you can win over this kashai, you can win over these passions by just practicing descriptive knowledge. You have to analyze the whole situation. You have to see the other's perspective, from where he is talking, whether he is doer of or those things or not. Even if he is abusing, then first you ask yourself whether he is the doer of the voices that are coming out of him. Is he a doer? No, it is all Pudgal Dravya. It is the matter that it is all about matter. So how can a soul do something in matter? It cannot do. So see him a निर्दोष भगवान. Okay. अपने को भी निर्दोष भगवान देखो, सामने वाले को भी निर्दोष भगवान देखो. Automatically feeling of eternal bliss will arise. There is no tension. There is no anxiety. There is no anger to anybody. There is no pride. There is no deceitfulness. There is no greed. All good qualities. So, supreme forgiveness, supreme modesty, supreme straightforwardness, supreme contentment, supreme truth, supreme self-restraint, supreme austerity, supreme renunciation, supreme possessionlessness, and supreme celibacy. These are all the qualities that we are going to manifest in the coming 10 days. So, take this period as a very great time for yourself and study intensely. Okay. And if you have any question, you put me across on my personal chat, and I will be very pleased to answer those. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है. 9 बार नौकर मंत्र गिनेंगे. जय जिनेंद्र.